Welcome on, welcome all again on your program here. Wonderful spaces here on Sankofa. Thank you for giving us space into your homes, in your phones, when you're in a car, in Brazzaville, Congo, you are in Nigeria, you are in Ghana, you are in Mozambique, you are in Botswana, Zimbabwe, wherever you are on the face of the earth. We are so excited to have you again here on your Sankofa program, looking backwards at the future. You cannot be talking about women, you cannot be talking about Africa, and you're not talking about fashion, and you're not talking about, beautiful things that are happening. And man, tonight, how best can we celebrate this beautiful Women's Month, but celebrating these beautiful branded designs. And with me, I was privileged today to have Umama Ntuli. Umama Ntuli. I know, in my culture, we cannot call a woman by her first name, especially if she's already spoken for. So, okay, Ntuli. Mantuli is with us in the studio today. She's a grand designer. Her shop is in Sandton. We're not doing. Where shop is in Sandton? What level?
It's next to Checkers.
Right there, next to Checkers there, you'll find a beautiful shop that is there. She is the one who is designing these products, and she's sitting in that place there, selling and marketing and preserving the greater African culture. Welcome, Juan. I'm so excited tonight. We're going to be having a conversation with her around her designs, her inspiration, her business side, what keeps her awake at night, what is her passion about clothing. And we just want to enjoy having a conversation with the lady herself. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Mantuli in the house. Thank you for sparing some time to be coming to join us tonight. And introduce the people. Who is Mantuli, and what makes her different from everybody else?
Yeah, my name is Phumzile Ntuli, as my bishop said. I'm a fashion designer who specializes with culture. I'm a culture conscious, and yeah, I love culture.
You love culture?
Yeah, I love culture.
Wow!
I'm in love with culture.
We have a beautiful show that is lined up for you tonight. She'll be taking us through the inspirations. Many African people make a mess because to them it's just about putting on a Tswana shirt, putting on a Zulu little thing with some tails that are hanging at the back. Once in a year, in September, wow, la 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 la, it's Africa Culture Month. Then people run around and get some vendor things and put some blankets on their shoulders, and they are so excited. They've celebrated their culture. And I'm so excited to have you tonight on the show as you take us through the greater depths of design, color, symmetry, the matching, the whole mindset of the greater African culture and in its designs. Let's start off right at the back. Sankofa, we're looking backwards and we look to the future. Yes. And I can see your clothing design and your clothing range has a lot of African symbols and stuff like that. What is it that is in the past that you want to communicate to the future and to the present?
Yeah, thank you, my bishop. I like your question very much because most people, they see beautiful blankets, which they don't even know what's the story or what's the significance behind. Yes, my blankets are beautiful, but there's more to it than the beauty that you see. Just to answer your question, I'm trying to communicate, especially with the one that you're wearing. I'm going to talk about it because I have...
Starts right. And by the way, guys, I must tell you, I got a gift. You see, I love my job. I love my job. I got me a gift, beautiful blanket. This is going to have a special place in my wardrobe. I really love it. I really love it. I don't know, I cannot stand too much. There are lots of wires behind me, but for those that are at home, I can maybe do a small little display. There we go, la 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 la. Don't you wish you were me? Take us through this particular one.
Yes, this design specifically, I designed it to promote or to convey a message of peace and unity amongst cultures. Like the circles, I was actually inspired by one tribe which called the Amandebele. They normally wear the itzila.
Yes.
You know, those shiny neck pieces
around their neck.
Yes, so I was inspired by that. Me being Umdebele, the Umakoti of the Amandebeles, so I used to wear mostly those stuff, and I asked myself, why are we wearing this? One day I had to dig down to understand why should we wear that as Abomakoti.
So what is in the circle? What is in the circle?
The circle, it symbolizes the unity because it's solid. you know. So that's exactly the significant of the Itzila. So the Itzila, yes, the Itzila signifies.
And by the way, the Itzila you're talking about from Kenya to deeper parts of Africa, there's islands, the Pacificans, and etc. Many tribes around Africa, you would find that women actually put on Itzila around their neck. Some of them actually even into the great Antarctica, up there. They actually use them for stretching women's necks and etc. And so it's actually...
And not only that, there's a deeper meaning and respect that women, they should wear that. It has to do with their commitment to their spouses. It has to do with them, with the love and unity.
Keeping the circle.
The family. Yes.
Keeping the circle joint.
So I took that because I could see that the other races, which is China, you know, they playing with our culture so much. You find this anywhere, and it's worn by anyone. And I said, you know what, I need to convey this message so that people, even though the ones that they don't even know what's the significance, they should know. So because I'm a textile designer and I'm a designer like of garments, I decided that, you know, I'm going to attach this on a piece of fabric. So I'm going to communicate.
Send that message across.
Yes, here I'm trying to communicate the message of peace and commitment towards our culture and love.
Wow.
To blanket everything.
Sitting everybody around the circle.
Yes.
These are our houses. They're in a circle. This is our fireplace where we are cooking, and this is purity at the center there. And the whole village, the whole community, the whole family, the whole individual must be thinking in circles. How is everything connected to everything is connected.
Solidness.
Wow.
Solidness.
I know, we are already diving right into the deep before people really know who is Ntuli, who is Phumzile Ntuli. What's your background? What's your background?
I was raised by my grandmother. I was born in the east of Johannesburg, but raised by my grandmother in a small village called Intlazache in Mpumalanga.
Okay.
So yeah, I was raised by him, and I was fortunate enough to be raised by that old woman.
Okay.
Yeah, she taught me a lot. I think all the inspirations, like for an example, when I design, I try to come up with something that actually entails or tell a story about whatever that is happening now or what happened there.
In the past, preserving it. I mean, did you wake up in the morning from the time you were born and you knew this is what you wanted to do? Or in the midst of academic and training and etc., boom, one day you wake up in the morning and you go, yeah, to hell with this, I want to pursue this. Because I mean, we all, the old school we are coming from, you were taught, go to school, get a job, look after your job, and you know, have a career, have a pension, and etc. And we all come from that background. But we know, people like yourselves, you needed to move into that space of what you were expected to become, and one morning you wake up and, wow, no, you guys want me to go this way, I'm taking a short left, and this is your short left. This is like, but it's not a short left. This has been the original left where you were supposed to be in. But I just want to find out in your growth part, how did you finally make a turn from what maybe the parents and your environment wanted you to become to this wonderful woman that you have become? I must say, we celebrate you, and I'm so excited to have that we have in our generation people of your caliber who have decided to take the bull by the horns and say, how do we preserve our African culture? But take us briefly in terms of your background and where was the tipping point when you discovered, no, this commercial career is not me. I am going the cultural route.
Actually, I knew that there was something about me while I was growing up as a child, but designing it was like,
it was no.
I never thought of that, because from the age of 10 I used to sell. I was owning my business at the age of 10.
10 years.
I would bake my cakes. I remember I would use cooking oil. Oh my goodness, I can't remember those days, probably. But I would use cooking oil and water without milk, and I would sell those biscuits.
Those cookies, and you would go to school and you were doing
and make money. I started to make money at the age of 10, and my grandmother will tell me exactly, like to say, Phumi, you're not going to play during Saturdays. You will come and do the pictography, uksinda.
On the floors.
On the floors. I think the artistic mentality started there. You know, because...
Wow. So you used to take the cow dung,
Yes.
the clay, and etc. Just take us some of the stuff. What were you using for making the floors and the walls and etc.? What kind
Yeah.
of materials were you using there?
I was using the cow dung, but not the clay mostly, but I was doing the pictography on the floor mostly, yeah.
And my grandmother also used to do that. And I remember sometimes after you've done your cow dung on the floor, then you must take your hands,
Yes,
and then you must put some designs
yes, and do the
around the...
That's the art we're talking about. I remember this year I was supposed to launch blankets that I was inspired by that.
By that design?
Yes.
Because they're free flow. They're
yes.
free flow. It's almost like just your hand on...
Remember, it used to be a communication. It used to be a medium. People then, they used to communicate using that. You know, remember, we never had schools. We never had what you see today. So they will actually draw whatever line on that wall to say, no, it's no entry here. Umama will say... Exactly, you know, so that they would use it as wow. Communication.
Let's help the young people. Let's help the young people. And I'm here to be that conduit. So when you look at African designs, it's not just a design. It's a library.
Yes.
It's information. This is our Facebook. If I'm supposed to use modern language, this is our communication platform. If you walk into the caves of the Karoo, you walk into the caves of Africa, you find that the Bushmen, the Khoisan, were actually writing on the walls. And someone comes around today and says, Facebook is a new thing. Hold on a bit. The Africans have been writing from Egypt. Exactly. We've been writing in the caves.
And we've been designers.
There is no African hut that does not have Facebook. In terms of the designs that are put on the walls, on the floors. Look at our designs. Look at our clothes. Look at everything around.
Everything is from here.
The African never has a plain wall that is naked. No. You always put information on that kind of a wall right there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's your inspiration.
That's my inspiration.
That's where you start.
I go back there, where we coming from, and take whatever stuff, putting it together, make sure that I tell a story. Because our heritage, sooner it will die.
It's a packed up show today, and I'm sorry we might not have enough time to be showing you everything that Phumzile has for us. Ntuli here has to be showing us today. But I want us to take maybe a few moments and look at some of these beautiful designs. And the lady and gentleman here are going to be staying with us. They're going to be taking us through some. She will be talking around this kind of space here. Give us some music in the background there, and let's hear exactly what's happening on these beautiful, beautiful African designs here. Africa is dope. You know, you guys, if you don't know, Africa is dope. We are Milan, we are Paris, we are the center of fashion in the world. Hey man, and all these movements you're seeing, these wonderful young people performing here, these have to do with the behavior of the animals in the bushes, the antelopes that you are seeing galloping around the veld, and then we take all these expressions from nature and we include them in our expression in terms of our dances. Later on we translate these into music, into art, into harmony, into matrimony, into relationships, into everything. Guys, it's not just about putting on a small little cloth on your back and you say you are an African. Africa is not a place of paper. Africa is what we are. And one author said we were not born in Africa.
Yeah.
Africa was born in us. Wow. Take us through this one, for example, for a start.
Here I was communicating the similar message that was for unity.
The whole family cycle there. And I can see some triangles and other beautiful works in the back here.
Inspired by the Amandebele. With those blankets, the inspiration was mainly focusing on Amandebele. Because they are a colorful nation, if I may put it that way. They play with color. And the colors, they have meaning. They have rich meaning, you know, because, you know, there's red, there's yellow, there's, you know, we from like, our history actually.
Hold it right there. When
Yes.
we come back after the break, we want to get into the symbols of these blankets, the colors of the blankets, and we cannot miss the show. Before you can also give us a little bit about Gogo Mahlangu, you know, and the beautiful designs. She has actually become the icon of the Greater African space. After the break, we'll be coming back to have a deeper look into the symbols, the colors, and etc. I'll have them right on stage here when you come back. Don't go away at home, and thank you for joining us again for tonight here on your Sankofa program.
Hello. Being a legal practitioner in South Africa in these challenging times demands lawyers that will help clients beyond legal issues. The ever-changing demands in commerce and tourism require lawyers who have sound and clear business and commercial knowledge, and that's where MB Chabangu Incorporated comes in. Our business, mining, tourism, health, labor, and economic knowledge encapsulated with law and litigation experience gives us an advantage in the legal sphere. Our experience in assisting businesses, government, and various industries with their needs puts us amongst the many progressive and striving law firms in South Africa. Now, to contact our attorneys for assistance with any of the mentioned fields and others, please call us on 012-341-4187 or send us an email on admin@chabangu.co.za. MB Chabangu Incorporated, where problems meet solutions.
Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Chicken portions are an easy way to feed a crowd.
I've just started to incorporate all my ingredients.
We're going to put this inside of a hot cast iron skillet.
You want to really fill up on great protein.
It's now time to sample the chef's dish. Look at this.
I know.
Like that?
Feel the excitement.
The chicken is on the spot.
Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Do you dream of awesome cartoons filled with funny characters who go on extraordinary adventures?
Everybody ready?
Ready! Hold on, I'm coming! This is absolute genius.
I'm on my way.
I'm ready.
Let's go!
Feel the excitement.
Like it? I love it!
Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Just watch this. Let the pictures tell you everything.
It's all the way through!
Oh, what about that? That was really special. Those are the moments that supporters will remember.
Feel the excitement.
That was delightful.
Feel the heat with StarSat.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
The day will come when these measures are no longer needed. Until then, however, we must ensure that all our people receive adequate support. We look ahead to a better future. I have faith in the strength and the resilience of ordinary South Africans who have proven time and time again throughout our history that they can rise to any challenge that is presented to our country. We shall recover. We shall overcome.
You know very well, I am an African and I'm not going anywhere. Not soon, I am going to stay right here on the continent. You can talk about all your places around the universe and the world, here, Tokyo this, in America this, Britain this. Me, I am happy right here in Africa. And there's no better place, there's no better place for us. Let's get some music and get some nice little display here of the African beauty and African clothing. We'll be going through all these various colors and the various designs that we find on the greater African clothing and designs. And Africa is my home. Africa is my home, and it can never be better than this. This is the sound of the continent, the heartbeat of the greater African continent. And we are here to celebrate ourselves as Africans. No one will do it for us unless we do it for ourselves. And I did this music. This is my music, and compliments to you. Take us through the designs, madam, in terms of the first. Let's start with the colors. Let's start with the colors of the music, of the clothing here.
Yeah, the colors. These are natural colors, but colors you can actually explain or take them as they mean to you. I don't know how to put it. Like I can explain them as I would say, this is blue. It means this to me. As it is a natural color, but to me it means this.
It appeals to something.
Yes. So with the blue, I had the natural, the sky, the waters, the sea.
What is above? Yes. And what is below?
Exactly. You know, and when it comes to the yellow, it's the sun. You know, the gold color, it signifies the preciousness of us,
wealth.
The wealth, us as being black, you know. And I moved to
no, don't hurry me. The black.
The black and white is the races that we have in South Africa, which I was saying, let's unite and commit to our culture.
Let's turn around. And these two in front of me here. This is a couple. This is a couple here. This is husband and this is wife. The young man took his time and he went to Belgium. Bulgaria. He went up into the depths of Europe there and found himself We actually have a makoti in the house all the way from Bulgaria here, and they do dancing and they do etc. So they united. This is Phumzile, and in further expressing their artistic space and etc. But we have a multinational. This is the world we would want to live in, where there is peace, where there is harmony, where there is unity, where black and white can live in. No one is suspicious of the other. No one wants to rob the other. No one wants to tell the other you are less human than I am. And I mean, if this for me was the reality of the world, I would stop being such racist. Because some people have called me a racist. Because I have a problem with the system and institutions that constantly are destroying the African culture in its depth. Because they want all of us in small little bow ties and small little tight little suits.
And
then
look
they say,
inferior.
Then they say, no, you're civilized. You know, that kind of thing. This is a couple, and thank you very much, guys, for spending time to come here to spend some moments with us. You are a picture of the world that I would love to live in some distant future where there is no one preparing guns to shoot the other. No one is preparing poison to kill the other. But we can just live, not as black and white, but as a human being.
And enjoy
human beings.
In culture.
Thank you. Thank you, Zyle. Thank
Tokos. She says Tokosa, you know, Tokosa Gok. Oh, man, Zyle. Oh, wow, man. These I'm going to bring them back for another show. Totally different. I would really love to have an in-depth conversation with the two of you, and I make a promise, and I don't make promises that I can't keep. I want us to have a full hour show, and we can talk about you guys, where you met, how you met, why you met, who you met, and how you do, what you don't do, and it'll be very exciting to hear.
You live in Soweto.
You live in Soweto?
Yeah.
Wow, right in there.
We teach young children how to sing, how to do the dramu, how to do the hip hop.
Wow, they teach all the youth there how to do gumbo dance, how to do sinners and everything. African elegance in its beauty, yes. And now I'll put a microphone on you when you come. Then what you're saying can be heard by everybody out there. But I'm excited and I'm so happy to have you. You were taking me through the black and white. So sorry, I do divert. The yellow there is the gold, the yellow is the wealth, the yellow is the sun, the blue, it combines the waters that are above and the waters that are below, and of course the waters that are also within us. We are 70% water, so that's this display of that. Let's move over to the red.
Here I was showing us being aggressive and commitment, yes, towards our culture, and obvious this is the sun also, like you know,
right there.
We are ready. We can actually
the Khoisan, the people of the sun, you know.
So yeah. That's the story.
And again, when you look into African art forms,
yes,
don't undermine these designs,
these triangles
that we have, because remember our history is we are showing a common background in terms of our Kemetic history. The great pyramids of Sudan, the great pyramids of Giza in Egypt, and you find that in all the Ndebele, Hats, Zulu designs, the African designs. These triangles will always be appearing, and the triangle is the strongest. It's the strongest of all symbols. So even if in your marriage, for example, you can say this is the husband and this is the wife and this is the spirituality, right there. And how do two people, the Trinity of life, you know, that kind of thing. So it's actually displayed there. And not only the Trinity, when we are the Trinity there, we must now also work together as the greater circle, the fire that burns amongst us. There you have the symbols again there, the lights of purity and etc. I am in love with African designs. And when I started putting on some of these things in my church space, people thought that the demons and the spirits, people thought that I was getting possessed by other spirits, you know. But we can never overemphasize the power of African design. Tell me about Gogo Mahlangu, Mama, and your experience with her and some of the designs, because I can see lots of what you are doing. She did a BMW car the other day, which had most of the designs. What do you say about that?
Yeah, that's my hero. Gogo Mahlangu. She's one of my, I would say, heroes that I would say she stood. That woman, when I met her, telling her what inspired me on these blankets, because I gave her one of the pieces, I could see that she becomes emotional. Reason being, she sleeps with Itzila for more than 60 years, which it is used to be a copper. She still has that one, the original one
on her neck.
And when I started to narrate or to tell the story about Itzila, I could actually see on her eyes that, you know what, now I'm speaking to that that person's heart now. No, I'm no longer talking to her.
And the comfort for her maybe to notice that a young woman is finally picked up the button from her and is carrying the fashion and carrying
nobody is touching those things. Like nobody is prepared to tell the world about us wearing such neck pieces and the hoops that they
and the value and the message that you're communicating in all those spaces.
Yes. So I met with Kok Esther Mahlangu and I spent my 40th birthday on that day. I slept there. It was
a beautiful day.
Yeah, I went to
What does he eat? What does he eat?
Pap. We ate pap. Yeah, just pap.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed morogo. And I enjoyed even
pap is this is our fufu. This is our sadza here. When you say pap, we're talking about the maize meal, and morogo, he talks about the vegetables,
I spent the whole day, and I remember what made me laugh, you know, I bought a cake. I spent like some monies to buy drinks and everything, like just for us to celebrate.
So you decided to go to Gogo Mahlangu and have
because it was my birthday.
Your birthday.
Because to take you back, when I started designing, she was here. I wanted to meet her one day. And when they called me to say, Phumi, you can come, it was like the Saturday of my birthday, and I said, wow, God, I'm going.
Everything.
Yeah, and I went there. And when I arrived there, it was like so beautiful. I remember when she said to me, Phumi, let me take a paint so that I'll put on the cream of the cake. And I said, no, Coco.
She wants to paint the cake. You brought the cake and she wanted to paint the cake. She still could see something that must be put into the cake.
To put the 40th because there was no number there. And I was like, Coco, no, you can't. How do you expect us to eat the cake? She said, okay, bring the beads. And I said, Coco, no, that's worse.
She wants to put the beads of 40.
That's worse.
That's an artist for you. I'll tell you a story. I'm sitting in my house the other day, and in my veranda, I was editing a book. And I'm an artist also. I'm a fine artist. So I look into the walls in the back of my yard, and all of a sudden it appeared to me that these walls are so naked. You know, there's like gray.
Yeah, there's no color.
And I went into my backyard. I picked up some paint.
Yes.
And I started painting on the wall. I put a picture of a man playing a drum.
The spirit was up there.
This man had a big wig on his head, these porcupine things, and it was like fire, literally hitting the drum like that.
Wow.
And I finished.
Wow.
My wife came home that night. She was mad. Do you think my house is a graffiti wall? Do you think we're living downtown? What the hell? Of course, I had to remove that and put something more peaceful. But had she delayed it another day, she would have found a whole wall, left and right, with kids dancing. Because for some reason, as an artist, you can always see something that is missing. And I think I respect Gogo Mahlangu. You bring a cake for her, she wants to paint on the cake itself. Wow.
And to me, it was like, no, Coco, that's what's the beads. How are we going to eat the cake? We must eat the cake.
Stick the beads.
Oh, so how are we going to write the 40th? I'm like, yo. And the other guy said, no, bring a plate, a paper plate, and then a marking pen. So my birthday cake had that plate and the marking pen, like, written 40th. And I was happy with that, you know.
And she put something there for you.
Yeah.
Let's make a promise.
She gave me a
wristband.
And a wristband and a bangle of some sort. Yeah.
Okay. I want to make a promise to you. The next time you're going there, please call me. I want to buy a cake for her. And I'll put nothing on it, and she will go there and she will paint the cake the way she wants to paint it, and I want to bring it back to Galaxy here and say we went to see Gogo Mahlangu. So please, she's old now, let's not postpone it too long. If you got some time, please give her a tinkle, and I would want to go with you.
Actually, I have a project that I need to do with her. We need to do a blanket together.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's unfinished.
But let's take a visit. Let's take a visit. It's on me. It's on me. I'll sponsor the trip.
Yeah.
I'll sponsor the trip.
She's got a BNB there. She's a businesswoman.
She's not joking.
When you arrive there, you sleep there.
In her house. You pay. Of course. Nothing for mahala. Very few for 5 cents. You know.
But she's an inspirational, especially in my journey. I got inspired a lot by her. She's powerful.
She's powerful.
She's powerful, and I'm so grateful that I met her. before, you know, yeah, she departs, you know. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I met her. It was an honor to have her.
Wow, there we have Ndebele, full Makoti. But are you originally Ndebele, or you're from another tribe who married into the Ndebele? Who
I'm
is
married to
you or your husband?
It's my husband. I'm Swati.
Wow, now that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm
so
Swati.
Here's a Swati woman who gets married to the Ndebele people, and she fully adopts the Ndebele culture. Now she has become the hub of the preservation of the culture of her own husband. Is this what marriage is all about? I'm looking at this woman from Belgium,
Unity.
Bulgaria. A few years from now, she will be the warehouse of the Manzini culture in all its totality. That's what it is all about. That's what it's all about. I mean, I know Swazis are also colorful in their own right. But for you to know that, okay, I'm now married on the other side, let me, and I hope sooner or later also you might want to celebrate the Swazi culture also in your own expression. When you come back after the break, I wonder also Phumzile will take us through the commercial side of the business, the manufacturing sides of these blankets and etc. What are the challenges we're facing as African indigenous designers? When we are having these blankets, are we producing them? Are we manufacturing them? Where do we find the materials for producing these things? What are the red tapes? What is limiting the African child from actually owning the entire value chain, from the cotton to the machines to the monies to the sales and etc. that goes with it? Don't go away. After the break with Phumzile Ntuli here from Zyle Clothing and Manufacturing. Their shop is in Sandton. We'll be back with you right after the break.
Hello. Being a legal practitioner in South Africa in these challenging times demands lawyers that will help clients beyond legal issues. The ever-changing demands in commerce and tourism require lawyers who have sound and clear business and commercial knowledge. And that's where MB Chabangu Incorporated comes in. Our business, mining, tourism, health, labor, and economic knowledge encapsulated with law and litigation experience gives us an advantage in the legal sphere. Our experience in assisting businesses, government, and various industries with their needs puts us amongst the many progressive and striving law firms in South Africa. Now, to contact our attorneys for assistance with any of the mentioned fields and others, please call us on 012-341-4187 or send us an email on admin@chabangu.co.za. MB Chabangu Incorporated, where problems meet solutions.
Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations.
Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with...
The African child must own what he eats, must own what they produce, must own what they consume. This means the total value chain of what we are doing as Africans. If you are eating pap, don't just eat pap. You need to buy shares into the company that is making the meal. Whatever we are eating, we need to own it from the ground. Some of you Christians, let me talk to you nicely. When the Bible says, give us this day our daily bread, the passage is not talking about you going to the shop and buying bread. Because for you to have bread, you must have the factory that produces the bread. But before you have the factory, you need to have the farm that produces the wheat to make the... Then you need the soil and etc. So if you are looking at the prayer and as a Christian, give us this day our daily bread, you are missing out the entire passage itself. Because that passage is saying you cannot be eating daily bread if you don't own the land that is producing the bread. Prayer, therefore, becomes a summary of ownership. And I want to move back to you in terms of your clothing industry. And I want you to frankly and honestly share with us the business side of the industry itself. The in total value chain. Uninterrupted. Over to you, Mama Ntuli.
Yeah, it has been tough, if I may put it that way. Me being a black woman who's trying to pursue blankets, things that, you know, people, they look as things that are not superior to other races, like Zias undermine. I got it so difficult to be where I am. And I said to myself, forward I move, Nobody will stop me because I believe in what I do. So I had to beg. I had to be a beggar at some point to say, okay, please weave this for me after I've designed or sketched my arts.
Your design.
Yes, but
so you designed from scratch,
yes,
right up to the end.
Yes. I actually come up with the color coordination. The artwork as it is, I begin with a pen and a paper.
So you designed this from scratch?
Yes.
The value chain. I'm still with you on the value chain. What goes on into producing a blanket such as this? Take me, without necessarily you, but I'm saying ultimately for me to have a blanket like this,
yes.
Where does it start?
It's sketching, the 3D artworks, and then taking it to the machine. There's a software that is linked to the weaving machine, and then it weaves whatever art that is there. And then obviously there will be yarns and that are being spun by the other part of machine, and then together, like they are dyed to come up with those beautiful colors or colorful colors.
What material is this?
This is acrylic.
Acrylic.
Yes.
Where does it come from?
Yeah, a good question. It's not wool. It's a synthetic.
Synthetic.
Yes.
But
so
indigenously, all in the olden days, this was done on skin.
Yes, it was done by wool, which is from the sheep.
From the sheep.
Yeah. So because now we're living in these days, wool is expensive, and people they can't afford to buy wool. So I started with the acrylic, but my range that you're gonna see after these, they're gonna be wool.
Genuine wool.
Yes, because I believe that I need to be genuine.
So basically you need a farm, and you need the sheep, then from the sheep you need to harvest the wool.
Actually you need a land, you need a farm.
You need land, yeah, you need a land, then you need the sheep. From the sheep then you harvest the wool. From the wool then you weave it into a cloth.
Yeah.
Then you design on top of that cloth. Then from the design then you cut them into the materials.
The garments now.
Into the garments.
I design the garments that you see.
There is the
putting the pockets and whatsoever, and yeah.
And I like what you put in this buckling up, and the combination is quite. You know, who does these buckles for you?
They are being done by one guy in town in Johannesburg, but they are being attached by some other guys at the back rooms there in Phumzile. Because
so you
I
give them to basically you outsource your
township.
Work to the fellow township people in the community there.
It's done there. Everything it's done there. Everything it's done there. With the binding that is attached there, it's not the machine. It's people who attached it. Yeah.
Physically. So basically, you have created to make one blanket. How many people are on the value chain? For example, in terms of
you
your
mean from
manufacturing,
from the
we can just start from your office to the buckles, to the binding, to the roughly. I'm trying to look at the industry itself. How many people are you able to employ and give money to?
For now, we are a small business. It's me who is the designer. From there, it goes for the weaving. Yes, it's a big factory that I'm planning to own. The reason at the moment I can't have
enough money to
have my own, but if I were to say I've got a factory, I was going to employ plus minus 120 people to weave this years, because
the Minister of Education, Minister of Trade and Commerce, I hope you are listening here. There is a woman already who has got the idea. She's not a startup business. She already has a shop in Sandton. She's already selling locally and internationally. And she's saying if we can give her machinery and around the world, around the greater space of Africa, we're now moving into the United Kingdoms of Africa, where all of us as a kingdom we can work together. If you are anywhere in the world there and you feel you want to make you want to put an investment towards the manufacturing of African blankets, what is needed is a machine.
Yes. It's the machines, the sets of machines, yes, the factory, which it can actually employ more than 150 people. Yes.
That's your goal. You can actually employ 150.
And I haven't counted the people who will attach the leather, because it's another department.
It's another section on its own.
On its own.
So if we have to look at the land itself and the shipping side, it's a business.
Yes.
All you want is the wool.
Yes.
Someone they can take the meat and do their lamb chops
and eat whatever.
And other things. You take the wool. Someone they can take the skin and do other things. So you're already looking at quite a number of businesses that are actually feeding into, and someone can be supplying the food for the sheep and other things that are going in there. But by the time you take your wool, there is a whole value chain in terms of manufacturing of the wool itself and converting it into the blankets.
Yes.
By the time it comes to you, it's a big cloth. Then you do your design, you do your computer things on it, you hoist them onto the thing, and if Gogo Mashango still, God bless her, you can still give a live clean blanket, and then she can do some indigenous designs on it. Then from there you can begin to design them, market them, sell them.
I employ young kids or young young upcoming designers to come and sell these things. So it's a long chain.
And these are all permanent. You can wash this at home.
You can wash this.
You can wash it with water, warm water, anything.
Avoid
the machine, yeah?
Because of the accessories, the buckles that I've put there, then I advise people to take them to the dry clean or use hands.
Use your hands, please. Use your hands or go to dry clean. But because there's leather on it and other things, so if you should wash them in the machine, machines are not friendly.
But this leather, it doesn't come out.
It doesn't come out. Permanently locked up in here. Anyway, any shows that you've done so far and other programs that you're doing, catwalks and etc. I must also be trying to work on my six-pack, and I must come there like Ubabu Manzini here and show some chest around the catwalk space. Any other shows that you've been running so far?
Nothing much, because I'm trying to perfect the products. I have lots of designs that I want to introduce, and I want to be all over the African continent. So I felt that, let me just focus on the gift and the talent that God gave me.
I'm going to introduce you to King Bungane for the Embo Kingdom. And I think we'll do a business from there where we can also design a blanket for the Embo Kingdom. A beautiful, beautiful stuff, and you have the whole nation that is watching. That's my promise. That's the value I'll give you. And I wish he was here. He would have been over the moon. He's a dear friend. He's a dear friend. Some royalty. So we'll extend and share our networks. And wherever you are on the face of Africa, there, I know you want to go to the shops and buy other things from other people. Guys, it's time that the African money starts circulating amongst ourselves. Let's take our money that we've worked for tirelessly and place it in there. I want us to conclude this conversation with the issue of the blanket. The blanket itself. What is it that is in the blanket that you want to communicate to the other? I know Basutus, for example, they carry these blankets around them. When people are getting married, there are blankets right there. When people are being buried, there are blankets out there. And what is it? What is it with the blanket that actually has created a fashion range of blankets?
It signifies respect. It's got an element of respect. So for that reason, I felt that, I can't leave respect behind, because that's me as a woman. I need to cover and respect myself.
Over and above just respecting yourself. Tell me a home that does not have a blanket. Tell me where children are made if there is no blanket. Tell me what protects us from the temperatures outside if it's not a blanket. So for me, when Makoti is being given a blanket, here's your blanket. You may just look at it and think it is just a blanket. But inside that blanket is actually a symbol of warmth. It's a symbol of unity. It's a symbol of covering each other. It's a symbol of, the privacy of people, sleeping in a blanket together. To me, that's sacred. That's sacred space. And in as much as we are now using these modern textiles, but in the original days, I might even be tempted. So I might even get a nice skin, and we can actually maybe do one of these designs on an original,
and painted. That was the whole idea. Skin. The thing is, I couldn't get that back, but where the blanket is coming from, it replaced the hide, the animal skin. The animal skin. So that's where actually I'm coming from. But I had to take the strips, the leather strips, just to say, because I couldn't get the leather, Yeah, I can just put a little bit of leather there and there. But we used to wear the hides and the animal skin.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we can support this lady, what it means that every culture in Africa, your Sutu, your Zulu, your Xhosa, your Pedi, your Kikuyu, your Igbo, your what, we have the software already. Mentally, we have the technology, we have the science already in our hands. How about we start supporting her, and every nation on the African continent can actually have a blanket
that to them,
represents that culture. So the Kenyans, you can have, I know many of us think that blankets must be political because they must have a flag of a country. I think that's more commercial. We are looking at the indigenous African designs. Look at the Kikuyu necklaces, how we can convert some of those into real blankets. Look at the Himba tribes of Namibia. Look at the, the Igbo tribes of Nigeria. Look at the Malawian tribes, indigenous stuff, and collecting this information.
We can actually retain our heritage on the blankets.
On the blankets. And this is the kind of stuff, by the way, when you pass away, who can finish a blanket? You can't finish it.
No.
When you pass away, you roll this thing and you hand it over to another generation. You hand it over to another generation. It becomes heritage.
Yeah.
Heritage, celebrating our heritage. And I'm so excited that actually towards the end of this August month, we're moving over into the September month,
yes,
which happens to be a heritage month for the great African space. I want to shoot to you one of the last two questions. If you're the minister of Arts and Culture for South Africa or for Africa, tell me 3 things that you'd wish to do for the continent.
I was going to make sure that people, they don't forget who they are. Because I feel that, you know, people, they actually move from their identity as people of South Africa or of Africa. And 2, I was going to make it easier for culture to be practiced. And 3, I was going to make sure that the artists of the country, they are being respected and they're given a voice to express themselves. Because I feel where I'm sitting, I don't have enough voice to express, even if I can have so much to give, but I can't because my voice is like shattered by somebody else.
I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you because we are now the custodians. We needed to have an educational program that goes forward. And we wish we can have maybe blankets that can show that these are virgin girls, for example. To show purity and cleanliness. There are blankets that actually express this woman is now pregnant. Please, how do you handle her? There are blankets for the married couples, married women, mature women. There are blankets for someone who is deceased, someone who has lost a husband, and etc. Because the European community does not understand the various seasons and spaces which our African people go to. And I'm looking at a woman who has lost a husband, and fashion has not even looked. You only have this small little piece of black cloth that is dumped on you, and it has no fashion appeal,
it frustrates
you. But with us now in the space where we can actually create the products and we understand where our people are, it allows some of those products to begin to become alive and relate to the kind of environments that we're dealing with. So I'm putting that as a challenge to you, to say maybe we might want to look into the lifestyle of the African and say how does one create blankets that speak. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Because honestly, the problem started when they created the blanket. You know, we adopted the blanket culture. And replaced the hides, the animal skins, with the blanket. Then we are doomed to understand exactly why was the blanket. So that is why the Europeans, they thinking it's just ingubo yokulala. It is not with us, it's not. We adopted that blanket culture to replace the hide, the animal skin, which was very important to us.
Even an African man when he's going away, he takes his skin and puts it on his shoulder, takes his spear and etc. and he goes on, because your bed is on your shoulder. And while you are walking away from home, there you are, carrying your family. There you are, carrying your unity. There you are, carrying your entire family with you. And wherever you are, the blanket represents everything.
And you'll never see an animal skin becoming old.
No.
It's forever there. So the blanket was actually derived from there. You know, so yeah, it's a story for another day, because I have a lot to say when it comes to that, and I want people to understand exactly why blankets.
Give us some music, guys. Give us some music. Here with me in studio today is Phumzile Ntuli. She runs a shop in Sandton in the Greater Space. She's a designer of all these ethnic blankets that you are looking at, and she's running an industry which is actually.
Let me show them mine also.
Carefully with the microphone behind you, but it's fine. You can just turn gently. And she right here with us to be showing us the greater African design spaces and how we can actually convert some of these things. We're always complaining to government that there's no money, there's no employment, there's nothing. No, stop complaining, guys. Start being solutions. Let's create our own African solutions. And here is one of the solutions. And with me tonight, from the greater Zyle Clothing space. And with me here, husband and wife. The wife is from Bulgaria. Here's a Bulgaria here. Bulgaria, and the husband here, who are artists and dancers with us to be adding spices on the program here. And there we go. Give me more fire there. Give me more fire there on the sound there. Give me more fire there.
Yes.
Chupa, chip, 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 chip. She got the rhythm here. She got the rhythm. Let's follow that. Bam, singawi baba siyajika. From me, your host Maponga J Chigarampo Garamashamba Huda Chira Nawana and Jibo, Wokiona Chigarama, Matanda Nora, Chiwekiteza Chinotezera, Kuru, Pedro Tambanacho, Tambo Paruare, one of Pembera Machira Machena, Cherry Mangura Nava Furiwayo, Wiramitia Sauce, one of Ponango Kubachamba, Sisera and Masha Kumagaro. Until we see again, don't do what I wouldn't do. If you decide to do it better. Here in Africa, we are not going anywhere. Get Dula more, get some micro more. Until next time, thank you, Sis Phumzile, for the time you've given us. Thank you very much. I appreciate the services.